In the beginning, we see a man who was having a nightmare about an event that transpired before. He woke up to his alarm and got into the shower to start the day. The man, Junior, had breakfast and left the apartment. He then saw a man hitting his wife while their daughter was next to them. Junior saw them, but walked away without intervening. In the coffee shop, he paid for his drink in cash, and the waitress asked why he always paid in cash. He jokingly told her he just didn't want the government to know he was having coffee. He then went to his workplace and started working. His boss, Paul, came and teased him about being early every day. Later that night, Junior said goodbye to his colleagues and told Paul it was now time for his poison and drove to a bar. There, he ordered a drink and had multiple shots. The next morning, he did the same thing as he does every time and went to work. While he was working, kids came and made fun of him, but he scared them away. He then continues to have the same exact day. He wakes up early, eats his breakfast, drives to a coffee shop, gets a coffee, then goes to work. One day, as he was getting coffee, he saw his neighbor that gets abused by her husband, and he decided to have the coffee in the cafe. He approached and started a conversation. The mother covered her bruised eyes with glasses. He then told her that God would help her before getting up to leave. In India, a bunch of thugs are in a car smoking and waiting for a car to come out. When they saw their target getting out of a gate, they followed it. The car came to a stop, and an elderly man got out, and the thugs stopped too. The market was filled with people, and among them was Harry, who was playing music with another guy. The moment they located the man, they got out of their car and started shooting in his direction blindly. They shot a lot of parents and kids. Suddenly, the security team retaliated, and the thugs got shot but drove off quickly. A mother, who was with her daughter, sobbed while holding her daughter. News reporters reported the incident. The thugs started digging to bury the dead member among them. One of them called Alam, the man who gave them orders, and told them what happened. Alam told him they should have been aware of the police, but the man told him that it was not. The police and someone had known about their plan. The detectives working on this case were briefed about this. The woman who lost her daughter was mentioned, and the detective decided to talk to her. The detectives went to the hospital to see the mother, who was lying unconscious. The woman is Samira, Junior's wife. We then see an underground illegal boxing tournament where Junior is participating. He took off his jacket and started fighting his opponent quickly, overpowering him. As we were seeing the fighting scene, we see a man telling the detectives how dangerous Junior is. He told them that he used to be an undercover agent, and now he is a criminal. He told them of his cruelty, and everyone was worried about his reaction to his daughter's death. The detectives noticed calls that were coming from Armenia's cell tower, and were confused. Meanwhile, Junior ran to his house and opened his computer to check the news and realized the news was indeed true. He started having flashbacks of his time with his wife. At this time, the police force came to Junior's apartment, but they were late. Junior drove to an embassy, but the moment they scanned his passport, they realized it was Junior. They triggered an alarm, and he got arrested. Junior asked to be taken to India, but no one was listening to him. A government official gives a speech about the attack in the Indian market. He promised that the criminals would be identified. One reporter asked about the situation of Junior in Armenia. Other reporters, following her path, started asking about Junior, but the man dismissed it. He said Junior is tied, and someone is constantly hitting him with an iron rod. As he was tied there, he started having flashbacks. After he heard about his wife's pregnancy, he proposed and married her. Because of this, he decided to resign and took this to his boss. His boss asked him to do one last assignment that didn't involve weapons. Junior agreed to do that. His boss informed another person that Junior is going to resign, and the man told him that since Junior had a lot of information about their organization, he should be killed. Junior went to meet two elderly couples for his last assignment. As they were talking, a sniper shot both of them. Junior then saw the sniper now pointing at him, but managed to dodge the bullet in time. Back to the present, a man named Sadesh came to where Junior is tied and told the officers who were torturing him to leave and walk to Junior. He told him that the system would destroy him and went to the officers who were standing outside. The officers told them to make sure he is alive, but to show no mercy. They went back inside and started hitting him, but they received a letter that one of them decided to take to Sadesh. He then gave him a paper ordering Junior's execution. The officer mentioned that he didn't expect this from the authorities, But Savesh cryptically said that Junior would be tortured more. Where he is going? Junior was taken to attend his daughter's funeral. He kneeled next to her and started crying and screaming. The police came and took him away. Samira ran to him and hugged him, but they were separated by the police force. As Samira is being transported, the female officer tries to comfort her. She told her she should move on with her life because Junior would not get out of prison. Meanwhile, Junior is being transported back to the prison. Suddenly he launched an attack on the officers in the car. He managed to overpower all of them. During the fight, one officer fell out of the car. Shortly after, the car crashed. Savesh saw this, and everyone got out of the car to see Junior walking out of the car still chained up. He once again attacked the officers outside. As they were about to shoot him, Savesh came and told them not to shoot because they wanted him alive. Junior fought all of them and managed to unchain himself. During the fight, he then took one of the officers' guns and shot everyone on the scene, including Savesh and the other detectives. The detectives went to their superiors to report what happened. He was angry about what happened, and they apologized, promising to catch him again. After escaping, Junior went to Harry's house. He waited for Harry there and attacked. And when he came, he slammed him into the wall, but punched the wall instead of him. They both sat calmly after that, and Harry started apologizing. He told him that he was going to kill himself after that day, but he couldn't. He then went to Junior and pleaded for him to shoot him. Junior took the gun and put it on the bed, telling him she was Harry's daughter too. He then washed the blood off of him and told Harry that he wanted to go home. As he stepped into the house he used to share with Samara and his daughter, Jessica, he started having flashbacks of them playing and spending time together. Later that night, Junior is analyzing the footage from the market, where his daughter was killed. As he was looking at it, he realized the target that the thugs were trying to shoot wasn't killed by a bullet from them, but from the other side. He then started contemplating who the shooter was. He then remembered his own death attempt, which he managed to dodge. We then see in the past a man reporting that they missed Junior, and hearing this, his superior ordered him to paint him as a criminal to the media and public now that they didn't manage to kill him. Samara saw the news that Junior had escaped and dropped her phone in shock. In a restaurant, an officer is seen eating and drinking. Harry and Junior got in and sat with him. The officer told Junior that he didn't deserve what happened to him. Junior stabbed his hands with a knife and told him to confess everything. He then told him about the day of the shooting. He told him he was the one who shot the target of the thugs. When Junior pressed for more, the officer revealed that the order came from Hawa Singh. Hawa Singh was informed of the incident. Junior and Harry had left after shooting the officer in the head. They headed into a temple and killed all of the guards outside. Hawa Singh was attending the religious celebration in the temple. He told the priest that Junior was there for him and reassured him he could continue his veneration. After killing all the men, Junior and Harry walked to Hawa Singh. He kept doing the ritual while telling them that he had celebrated Diwali in this place 49 times. He then started telling him of the incident. Hawa Singh told him he would get his revenge in Georgia. He then proceeds to tell him about a man named Edward Kahlo. Edward's younger brother is behind everything. Hawa Singh told him he was only taking orders. He then called a man named Baba and told him that Junior was there, and Baba mockingly said to tell Junior to have a second child. Angered by this, Junior shot Hawa Singh on the head, ending his life. Junior meets up with Samira. Samira, crying, told Junior that his daughter was asking about him, but he wasn't there for her. She then told him to avenge the death of their daughter, and they embraced. After separating from Samira, Junior started his journey to Georgia. He went to his brother's house and was greeted by his brother and his niece. Later that night, Junior told his brother about Edward Kahlo. His brother recognized the name and told him Edward Kahlo is a dangerous criminal. He then told him how he killed a senator. We then see Edward Kahlo meeting up with the senator. The senator disrespectfully talked to Edward and told him he had a flight to catch and walked away. Edward called him from behind and told him everything about himself before strangling him to death. Samira, surrounded by reporters, started being frustrated and threw the camera of one of the reporters. She then quickly felt bad and picked up the camera and gave it to the cameraman. Junior and his brother started plotting their plan of revenge. They investigated Edward Kahlo and the people he interacted with. A detective went to talk to a prisoner. The detective asked about Junior. The man simply said there is no way to stop Junior unless they killed him. Meanwhile, Junior approached Edward Kahlo's brother's house. He killed all the guards outside. He then emerged out of the water behind Edward's brother and drowned him. Edward saw the body of his brother and kicked all the officers from his property. His men told him he was a criminal. His men told him that Junior was behind him and showed him footage of him stalking Edward's brother in a club. Seeing this, Edward orders his men to bring him the man who's with him since it's impossible to catch Junior. Edward's men kidnapped Junior's niece. Junior launched an attack on Edward's men and was brought to Edward. Edward ordered his men to bring the girl, and Edward threatened him, saying that they would sell the little girl. Junior then showed a recording of Edward's son being kidnapped in a basement. He then left with his niece, Sarah, but Edward's men followed him. Junior drove to an abandoned garage and left Sarah in the car. He then prepared his weapons and got out to face Edward and his men. Edward's men approached the abandoned building, but were attacked by the different traps that were set by Junior. Junior then launched an attack and took out most of them. They found the car and took Sarah out, but Junior showed up and took them out too. After a lot of fighting, Junior managed to kill all of them and ran with Sarah. Police showed up and Junior hid Sarah upstairs before going out to finish his work. He started shooting at the remaining men of Edward. As he was doing so, he got shot in the arm and collapsed. Edward came and started asking him where his son was. Junior had a flashback of his family and threw a lighter on the ground, starting a fire. He used this destruction to get up and attack the men who were around him. He then took a power drill and drilled right into Edward's heart, despite his pleas and offer of money. After killing Edward, Junior took Sarah and ran out of the place with it exploding behind them. He then told Sarah to run out of the door while he stayed behind. Sarah went out and was found by the police outside. We then see a press conference where detectives are being asked about the case. One of the reporters confronted them, asking if Junior was really the criminal, but the detectives insist that he is. At the movie's conclusion, we see Junior in a boat going to India. He went up and stood by the boat looking at the water.